Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Jedi Council, Young Jedi CCG YouTube channel. Back with the final part of our pod racing series. Today is actually going to give you guys a little play test here. We're going to show you that Juan Sandage Says I Win deck in action here. For the dark side, we're just going to be playing a standard Darth Maul deck, just to give you a comparison. And then light side playing Juan Sandage Says I Win. We're going to even let the dark side go first here, just to show you how absurd this is for the light side. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull a location out here for the dark side. Let's go to Naboo, because that's where our Darth Mauls are good on. There it is, Theed Palace. So that'll be our starting location. And we're just going to draw our opening hands here. So I will give you like a little basics on what I'm doing while I do this, but if you haven't yet, of course, watch the deck tech video, and then also, of course, just the basic pod racing short tutorial video if you want to have more information on that. But there's our dark side hand, and let's just take a quick peek at that. All right, that looks pretty decent here. So, yeah, we got plenty of weapons here. So, and we don't need an effect. So no effects for the dark side. Let's draw our light side hand here. And, oh, there it is. I was going to say, this is the guy that we always want to pull for the light side, is this one destiny effect when you start the planet, so that you can race a 1. But it looks like we're in good shape here too for the light side, so I don't think there's any reason to pull any effects here. So I'm good as well. And in terms of deployment, you don't usually want to put a Rake the San face down, but I have plenty of weapons, so I'm just going to go double Maul's Saber and Rake the San face down. And then oh no, wait, sorry, what was I doing? I'm going to do Nute Gunray, double weapon, and then I'm going to full hand this, and we're going to get a Darth Maul. So basically that gives us, uses up 5 counters here. And like I said, yeah, since we have weapons, I actually will throw Rake the San down there as well. So we'll deploy these cards and even up by discarding all, and then draw 6 more. So there is our 6 that we got, and yep, plenty of Darth Mauls there now, so we're in good shape. So that is the dark side's play. Light side's play now. We're going to, first off, start the pod race. So I'm going to play Juan Sandage's Pod Racer to the Boonta Eve Classic for 1. And then that will allow me to play Juan Sandage from my draw deck for 2. So we've got our Pod Racer down. So now we do still have 3 deploy counters left. See if we end up using those or not, though. All right, so then we are going to start the pod race. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a thrust token on our Pod Racer pilot. So Juan Sandage gets 1 thrust, which means I can play 1 lap card to my lap pile. So we're going to play Usagai's Bombed for our 1. And then we may draw cards back up to our thrust rounded up for refueling, step 3. So we're going to refuel a card into our hand. It's Seek. So what are we going to do here then? These are going to be good for racing next turn. You never want to face down at Gyra. So I pretty much don't really have anything that I'm going to want to play here. I think I'll just go ahead and throw a Seek face down just so that I'm doing something. And then we're going to even up our hand, just so that we don't automatically forfeit is the idea there. So now we go over to the dark side player's side. They're going to have a very nice show here of Nute Gunray, Rake the San there as a smoke creature, and a couple of Darth Maul's lightsabers. And then this is pretty easy. We're just going to follow it up with a dueling Maul on location. So yeah, nice show in the Theed Palace here for the dark side for sure. And then we're just going to, actually, given the starship situation here, that we don't have a starship, the wise thing for the dark side to do likely actually would be to full hand discard and make sure we actually do get ourselves a starship. And then, even though that was a nice hand there, we at least get our, like I said, on location dueling maul and an on location armed and dangerous rune Newt Gunray. We're in very good shape there. And then let's see what we have here. Double blade. That's going to be brutal for our opponent. Now we will have to probably like rum slag for a starship or something, but otherwise this looks pretty decent. So light side player then, back over here. We're going to flip. We have our seek. And then we're going to deploy. And by deploy, I mean, first off, we're going to pod race. We're going to increase this to a 2, which means that we can play 2 cards for pod racing. Oh my goodness, we have obscene amounts of Wand Sandage's pod racers. We might have to just discard these so that we get them out of our hand eventually, but we'll play that as a wild. You're allowed 3 wilds per lap. So we've got that as a wild. Then we're going to play this 3 as a 3. So we're doing fantastic. We've only used 1 wild. 1, 2, 3. And then that is all we're allowed to do. Then we're going to even up, or excuse me, refuel our card. So we get to draw 1 again, because half of 2 rounded up. Draw our 1 card as a Jira. That puts us actually in great position here to potentially stay on this planet longer. So I think I will go for it, actually, just because I've got Jira here. I mean, double Jira. So what we're actually able to do here is play 2 Jiras, which will play us, get us a starship here. Me, Amidala's starship, and then get us walled for other friend. So that's 4 counters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then get us a Bravo pilot. This is crazy how the light side can just puke out characters like this. And again, quick refresher, I am playing this game right here, the Wand Sandage Says I Win deck, under the original rules pre-errata, meaning that Jira actually is a stackable character as printed here. That was subsequently errated so that you couldn't do what I just did and play 2 Jiras in the same turn. But under the original rules you could, and that's what I'm trying to show you, is how good this deck was under the original rules pre-errata, and just to show you pod racing. So look at that, two Jiras in hand just produced me 5 characters. So and actually you wouldn't even need that second Jira in the hand, because you can go Jira for walled for a Jira from your deck for Ami. So that would actually be better if you follow what I just said there. So we don't actually play the second Jira from our hand, we just leave that in our hand, and we use our first Jira to get our walled. We use our walled to get this other Jira out of our deck, and then we use this Jira to get an Ami. That does short us a Bravo pilot though, so that's what I was doing, I guess, was getting the Bravo pilot with the walled. So yeah, I guess that is serviceable. So leave the Bravo pilot down, put the Jira back in the deck. Sorry for the mixing around there, but that might be relevant here to have enough characters, because they've got 3 over here. Granted, we've got 6 over here, but that's going to buy us the turns that we need to finish the pod race. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that play. So there we go, and hopefully some of these things die for us. So we are of course not going to battle. We never would. We're not here to battle. We're here to pod race. So I am just going to go ahead then and even up my hand. This will finish the next lap for me next turn just with what I have. So I'd likely just hold on to that and then draw 3 more. Oh my, got some Bravo pilots, which actually help you even stay longer. So as you'll see, just get all these junk pod racers, but you just race these down and get rid of them. So, all right. So that ends the light side player's turn. So we would just pass back to the dark side player. And like I said, dark side player now is just in a really good position. I would probably, in this instance, I don't know if we need more Darth Mauls. We're on the Theed Palace. I'd probably just go rum slag for another Newt Gunray, because those things are just sick at the Theed Palace here. So we go Rum Slag for a Newt Gunray, and that, you know, will give us our 5 fights there. 2 Scrubs, 2 Newts, and Darth Maul. So again, normally if there were good fights over here, I probably would try to get this double blade down, but it's highly irrelevant for what's going on the light side of the table. Now, of course, the other thing where this single Darth Maul is incredibly valuable is I do get to duel one character off the table. So I would just kill the Bravo pilot. Again, that would have technically been an actual duel, but we're not going to waste times to draw the hands out for that. And 1 damage for the Bravo pilot. So that does knock the Bravo pilot off the table. And now we'll have 5 light side fights versus 5 dark side fights. But we're going to have 2 stalemates basically with Rake the Sun and Rum Slag are going to stalemate someone over here. So, all right, there is the setup. And of course, the dark side would actually initiate a battle here. So they are going to initiate. And for randomness, of course, this lightsaber is going to be with a Darth Maul, but just so that I can randomly shuffle it, I'm going to not put it in there for now, because I'd like to just do a random battle here. And then same thing here. We're going to do a random battle with the light side. So we're just going to flip it, and I'm just going to resolve all the battles at once. Rake the Sun, Jira, that's a stalemate. Darth Maul Ami, that's a death for Ami. Jira Newt, that's a death for Jira. Newt Seek, that's a death for Seek. And Wald Rum Slag, that's a stalemate. So these are the things that stay alive, Jira and Wald. These all stay alive on the dark side. And dark side gets to draw 1 destiny for the Darth Maul, like I said, that would have been using the lightsaber. So we get 1, 2, 3 destiny draws to add to our hand. These 3 destinies all go to our hand. And then the light side player just takes some damage, 5 damage. So there's our damage. Like I said, I'm just resolving those all at once to make it go a little bit quicker. So now we have, again, some fairly dominant dark side going on over here. And we've got Wald and Jira over here, meaning they will end up dying next time. But let me see what the dark side has. I don't think we have a starship still on the dark side. Yeah, being that we really are going to need a starship because we're going to know that our opponent's going to forfeit this, we're going to just pitch all of this. Again, we're not really concerned about the deck size over here because we're going to win the planets if it goes to that. And then just draw our 6. So that is the dark side player's turn. Back now to light side. This will be the light side player's 3rd turn. So first order of business is to increase our thrust counter to 3. And then that will allow me to race 3 cards. And like I said, we've only used 1 wild, so I can literally go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 as a 4, and then the last 2 can just be wild, 5, 6. So that is our pod race first lap. All of this gets shuffled in. We get 1 lap token. Let's put that on the Bunta. So we've completed 1 lap, and we're at 3 thrust. So we have fully used our thrust for this turn. But now we still can refuel and play our cards. So refuel is going to be 2 because half of 3 rounded up. So we're going to refuel 2. And then what I'm going to do is even up and forfeit. So these guys are going to go off to the side. All of this is going to go off to the side. Just stack that up. Darth Maul team and the Jira team. And then the light side player is going to select the new planet. Naboo would be nice here, huh? But you know what? Is that even the right decision to forfeit? Because, yeah, I guess I automatically lose 3 guys, but I will still technically be alive possibly, but it's going to be pretty narrow. No, yeah, that's the right decision to forfeit for sure. So we're going to move to the next planet. Nice thing here is, again, I basically get a double turn because I move that to the side. Then I get to select the next planet. Let's just say Coruscant. I don't think it matters to me. And then because I selected the next planet, I do get to get an effect. I will take Usagai's Bombad Uh-Oh. And you guys know what I'm doing with that. I'm pod racing it as a 1. So shuffle that up. And then even up. Okay, so we evened up and forfeit. Did I even up my hand? 2, 4, 5? I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should have drawn one more, 6. Even up, forfeit. Select Coruscant. Now I'm playing for this next turn, so that's when I pull my effect, and that's when I increase this to 4. So now I can race for 4. And it's going to be 1. Don't have anything that services as a 2, so we're going to go wild for 2. And then we're going to go wild for 3 and 4 for 4. There's our 4 cards there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to even up, draw 2. And being that the dark side is not showing any starships, I'm going to initiate a rescue over here to rescue Walden Jira. Do we have an intercept? We do have an intercept. That'll be interesting. So Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator will intercept. Draw Destiny. 2. It technically goes through. Not that matters one way or the other, but those starships do just stalemate there. But the dark side needed that for their rescue, so that's good. They get their starship there, and the starship stalemate. So Amidala's starship and Darth Maul's starfighter stay over there. We shuffle Walden Jira back into the deck, so they're now playable characters. And now we can deploy our 6 counters. And I'm just going to go, not sure what exactly I'm supposed to do, but I think that, because I've got like perfect racing here, 5, 6, and then this Jira will let me flood the table. So I think I'm actually in very good shape. I'm just going to face down this one guy right here. I've already used 2 wilds, so I would be allowed to use 1 more wild. So I'm actually good on the 6. So let's go ahead then and pitch the R2-D2 also. Then draw 3. So there is our even up. Now it is the dark side player's turn. So dark side player's turn. Again, they're going to have to initiate a rescue. We're not going to contest because there is the Darth Maul starfighter escorting the Viceroy's battleship. So this whole chunk stack is going to go back into the draw deck for the dark side player. That's very strong. And then dark side is going to play its hand. And this is kind of a interesting, not amazing hand, to be honest. With what we've got here, but let's go ahead and play, because we can just go duel begins. That's not amazing, but we can go Rune Hacko duel begins is probably technically your best play here, and then you've got more Darth Mauls at least. So draw 3. You definitely want a Darth Maul down. Oh, nice, because that's Rake the Sun, Newt Gunner. Okay, we're in good shape still. So that's the dark side player's turn. Back to light side. We're going to flip, show Bravo Pilot R2-D2. We're going to increase our thrust over here to 5. And then we're going to race a 5 with Juan Sandage and a 6 with a Naboo Starfighter. So in good shape there. And then we're going to complete the lap. Give ourselves a lap counter. And again, we only have used on that two thrusts, so we still have 3 thrust remaining. So reshuffle. 3 thrust remaining. We're going to go 1. And then I'm going to go walled. Oh, no, let's not do walled. Let's do Jira for a... yeah, let's do that. Jira for a Kitzer for a Podracer. Race the Podracer for a 2. And then, do we have anything serviceable as a 3? I believe we... Did we... Oh, yeah. For 3, then, we're going to go Jira for a Seek. This is how absurd this is, guys. You just seek out any cards you want. No, did I have no Seek left? No Seek? Oh, all right. Well, we were going to go Jira for a Seek for a 3 Destiny battle card. But it appears that we must have lost all of our both of our Seeks previously, so so we're not going to be able to do that. So let's see. Probably. Oh, we can go. We could have gone like that. That'd be fair. Jira for an Ami for an Amidala's Starship. And then we race that as the 2 and that as the 3. You obviously can't go backwards like that, but I did have the 2 Jiras and basically just saying, okay, with my 2 Jiras, I want a Jira for a Starship and a weapon in that order. So you'd have to technically go Jira for Ami first, second, Jira for Kitzer, and then that gives us our racing pile that you see there. So, and then that uses up all of our thrust, all 5. So we just raced 5 cards. And then we're down to just this walled left in our hand. So we still could do something productive with this, but most likely we're just going to hold that to pod race for next turn because we win the game next turn. And then I get to refuel 3 cards. And yeah, look at that. That wins the race next turn. 4, 5, 6. So no matter what, we're just 4, 5, 6 next turn. We win. So basically, the dark side player will have to kill all 6 of these guys on their next turn to win. But I'll just quick show you how that would work. We got our duel begins, our Rune Hacko. We're going to play out Darth Maul, play out, and since we don't need to use duel begin, since we have Rake the San, I'll do Darth Maul, Rake the San for a weapon, put our Droid Starfighter on our stack over there, and then just hold those, Rake the San a weapon. So yeah, so there's our 3 fights. But again, as you can see here, we've got 3 fights. We'll be able to kill, on the light side, 2 characters, because Rake the San's going to stalemate. So I'm just going to, if I'm playing this, I'm always going to put my Jiras in harm's way and my Kitzer. So basically what's going to happen here is the dark side player is going to initiate a duel, kill the highest power Bravo pilot. He takes a damage. Then the dark side's going to initiate a battle. We've got our 3 guys here. And the light side, like I said, is safe to stay alive because we got these 2 extra. And we're going to run these 3 guys as battles. We flip. Darth Maul versus Kitzer, of course. Kitzer's going to die. Next one. Jira versus Rake the San, stalemate. Rune Hacko versus Jira. Jira dies. So the light side loses these 2 guys. Light side loses 3 damage. Dark side gets to draw Destiny for Darth Maul. And then dark side gets to even up. 1, 2. And so basically you see what we have left on the planet. Dark side still has their full Maul, Lightsaber, Rune Hacko, Rake the San. And the light side has Jira, Ami, R2-D2. Not your most formidable. But what's going to happen here is on the light side player's next turn, as I said, I'm going to... Oh, we didn't even up. Don't need to. Doesn't matter what these are. But basically, we're just going to race now on this next turn. Up this to a 6. Totally irrelevant that it is a 6, because we only need to race 3 more. And we're just going to go 4. No, we can race a 5 if we wanted. 5. 4. 5. You know what? Just to show you guys how ridiculous this is, because you can have 3 wilds. We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 is not wild. 5 wild. I can just use all these wand sandages. That's what's so ridiculous. And finish it off with a walled 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the wilds here is the number 1, the number 3, and the number 5. So that would complete the pod race. Could have completed it so many different ways with the numbers I have in my hand here, obviously. Actually could have, here, watch this, just to show you guys this. So we had these 3 down, 4, 4, 4. This is what I just played. I could have actually gone like this to really maximize another wild. You could have gone 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that's the same number. Whatever. Either way, you see the idea. I got 4 wand sandages pod racers in this lap. That's crazy. All right, so we complete the lap, and as it says here, well, it doesn't say here. As it says in the rules, your opponent immediately, when you complete the 3rd lap, I add my 3rd lap token, and they immediately place their whole deck in the discard pile. Deck victory. Don't even have to even up necessarily, but again, just to show you, I have a huge healthy deck left here that is not being a problem. As you see it, basically you can't kick the light side off the table just because of the proliferation of crappy characters that it plays. So hopefully, I know I made a few misstep corrections on there, but hopefully you guys followed what I was doing. Like I said, definitely was geared towards the people who already saw the How to Pod Race video and the deck tech video, but hopefully that just kind of gave you an idea of how absurd this was. The dark side barely had a chance to initiate a battle, as you saw. I believe they got 2 battles in the entire game, and even with them going first, I completed the pod race with thrust left over to spare, and the only way they can possibly win is by having 2 planet victories before you're able to do that, and it's just not going to happen. So that's why they changed the rules, though. They errated Jira. They errated that you could only go up to 4 on this number. That doesn't actually really matter. That doesn't hurt anything. You can still win in the same number of turns, even if you're stuck at a 4 thrust. Jira being non-stackable, though, does really take a hit to what the deck is trying to do. So that was the pod racing video. Hopefully you the deck take video of the wand sandage says I win deck. Like, it's a very historic deck in the game of YJ. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more.